Come see the latest miniature from Creature Caster.
Spiky bits.
Welcome back, Hobby Maniacs. I'm Baer, and today we're checking out the Lord of Malice from Creature Caster, a brand new. I don't even know the price of this miniature. I got it in the mail. I didn't even know the name. Actually, it came in a bag. You're about to see. It says Chaos on it. I wish my life came labeled like that in the mail with everything I needed to know with like single letter or single word messages on it. Oh, hey, here's your whatever. It came in the mail. No, but I love it. These guys put out a great product. It's always getting better. Figure after figure. There's always some very fresh stuff from them. I might not super like every one of their designs, but every one definitely has that attention to detail that I think sets them apart from the pack, so to speak. So let's jump over to the paint table and take a look at this bad boy right here. And there it is. If you ever get a bubble package in the mail labeled Chaos, well, you know what to do. Open it up immediately and put it together, obviously. But first, record a video for everybody on YouTube so they can check out the miniature. Like I said, this is actually how they come in the mail. Obviously, it's going to be packed in a box with a bunch of padding and stuff around it, but I've never had a problem with breakage from them in pretty much the last year or two that we've been showcasing their products here on the channel. Now, this one is the Lord of Malice. We did find that out. I don't know the price, but judging by some of the other figures, it's probably around $60, $70 US that they put out, and I suspect it'll be about 6-7 inches tall once we get it together. From the looks of it, I think it's about 27 parts or so. So let's lay it out for you here. There's obviously a torso. Here's the base. It's a kind of like a two-part base kind of type deal right here, which I think is pretty cool. And then there's a lot of horns and different things depending on which head you use. The wings themselves are gregarious and just over the top, like every other wing they put out. They're always the freshest and have the most design work. I mean, I might say that this is probably one of the most detailed miniatures they've put out thus far, but I might be wrong. I love how they attach that to a die. That's literally a D6 right there that they sculpted the hand onto and casted it. I guess they just didn't have a resin chunk laying around to attach it to and sculpt it up. I don't know. I'm not a sculptor. I couldn't tell you all of the answers and how these things work, but that would be my guess right there. And there's the boots. Two different sets of arm weapons. These are the there's a back armor plate, front armor plate. It looks like more horns for the heads. And then speaking of heads, there is two different head options. One looks like a demon that we've seen in the past from Chaos, Mr. Bellacore, as you can probably see right here. I like to call this version of him Better Core because he is much beefier, of course. We haven't seen an update from Games Workshop for Bellacore, well, ever. Even since they put out the larger size plastic Demon Prince kits, we haven't seen it. So there's all the parts laid out. Again, you're probably noticing, even from this height, the amount of detail that's in each one of these parts here. 27 different parts, two different head options. Then two different weapon options, two different head options. These, believe it or not, are the horns, I believe, for this guy, this head right here. And then these horns go on the Better Core head for the Lord of Malice. These are the wing pinions right here. As far as I can tell, just studying the parts. And then it only comes with one right hand. So two left hand weapon options, one right hand. Here's the segmented parts of the hand, the feet. Then of course you've got the torso and the bottom of the torso, the bottom half of the torso and the lower legs. So once we get this cleaned up and put together, we'll take a closer look at just how cool this miniature is with all the components in place. Before we get them all glued together, I wanted to take a chance, because we can only assemble in one way, right? So let's take a chance to look at some of the other weapons that are probably not going to use. Now, here is a mace that they've sculpted, and you can see, I think this is actually meant to be bone. It might be wood. It's hard to tell. Sometimes they have metal components here when it comes to the weapons that they put out, but I'm gonna theorize that's some sort of wood with some metal at the top. And the hand, expertly sculpted, got a lot of detail in that, as well as the mace itself and the open eye, kind of an homage to Chaos there. Now the torso here is quite the treat. Once you get a good look at this, I mean, it's tighter than the Lord of Slaughter, or I forget which one it is, but it's a little bit, it's kind of a bigger version of this, but it looks like they've been able to kind of miniaturize some of their sculpting techniques into this here, which is very similar to the larger greater demon version that we've seen in the past. And this very, very well sculpted with all of the muscle tone and everything in there. And I can't tell, sometimes it's hard to tell, hey, is this armor, hey, is this muscle? There's a lot of demon bone and everything. It's fantastic. And then it looks like it goes right on top of this for the bottom torso piece that has a ton of muscle detail, and that's where that back, this one, I think it's this one, that one goes there, because then the wings are going to lock in to this area right here. Let's see if we can happen. All right, good enough. So here's how the wings are going to lock in. Very, very cool. So you don't, sometimes we assemble this with putty just so we can remove them for painting and other such techniques, but I think just tack gluing it might give us a better effect there. So those slot right in, and then this is going to go into the bottom of that. The legs seem straightforward enough. Let's see, can we clip these off to make it removable? I'm thinking we can on the base itself, because a lot of times you might not want to glue down the base into, or the feet into the base, and that looks like there's enough depth there that it'll probably sit in it, but we'll find that out shortly. And as far as the base itself goes, it looks like it could be on a 60 mil base, no problem right there. Build up a little bit of texture and such around it with some pumice, similar to what we did with our desert, how to paint base desert miniatures for the Star Wars Legion. You can check that out on any of those Star Wars Legion painting tutorials, how to build up a little bit of texture around the base there. But other than that, I think these are your shoulder pads. These are going to lock in a certain way. Maybe we'll get lucky. I think that was it right there, but if that piece of sprue wasn't on there, so that looks really cool. A lot of elements here that could be painted separate or painted together, or painted once assembled. Of course, we're going to go ahead and assemble it here in a second, but I did want to, I love how they sculpted this with the die attached to it and then cast up, or maybe they just attached it to it to get the piece casted up and kind of use this as a placeholder, because I didn't have any other little pieces of resin right there, which could be the case. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not into resin casting. I've seen it done enough on tutorials and taking tours at various companies that I kind of get the gist of it. But other than that, that's the only thing that makes sense to me. Maybe if this were full, you could actually roll a resin dice. One free resin dice, sort of, in every purchase of the Lord of Malice. And here he is. Look at this bad boy here. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Now, I've said it in the past when we first showed this guy off a few weeks ago on stream, that this is the miniature that speaks to me the most thus far from Creature Caster. I have a lot of Nurgle demons already and other various things that I don't really need a whole lot of new demons myself, but this is the one that really speaks to me personally. I don't know what it is about it. Maybe it's that better core styling of the Lord of Malice, but man, I really just dig the pose, almost like a He-Man pose with obviously a more evil intent there. Now, as we talked about, it does look like he slots in pretty good. You don't have to worry about him kind of coming off the base if you don't want to glue him in immediately. You want to work on both of them separately paint wise. You can. We already showed you this is going to fit on a 60 mil base with no issues. Just build up your texture and stuff around it. I could have definitely some fun with that. Everything went together pretty well, very flush. I didn't see any gotchas or anything like that. As far as that goes, the wings slot in very well, and there's a spot right back here that actually there's enough room for it to get glued down over the piece of armor. It's going to cover, we'll call it the butt guard. And then up here is the much larger one that doesn't really interfere with anything like that. Shoulder pads go on good. Demon spiky shoulder pads go on well. And then the additional horn details here on the forehead are also very well. Now this pinion broke off on me once, but that was kind of my fault. I didn't really glue it down that well. But now it's pretty well attached as far as that goes. But remember, always scrape with a little X-Acto blade both surfaces as best you can. If it feels a little too smooth to you, it probably is. So scrape it with an X-Acto blade, try to roughen it up and give the glue a little bit something extra to grip onto. Now let's measure this, because we've seen these in the past with some of the like the Lady of Strife and such. Our always seems to be about 5 or 6 inches tall, give or take. This one looks to be about 5 inches from the foot to the top of the wing pinion there. Now if you put it on the base, you're probably going to gain a little bit, but not too much, maybe like ½ an inch or so. So yeah, about ½ an inch, so about 5.5 inches tall right there. But it is, you know, comparison wise, let's see, do we got anything laying around we can compare this to? Oh, hey, what's up, Mr. Custode? So as far as compared to a normal 25 to 32, however you want to scale that, 28 millimeter heroic model right there, well, that's about what you get when it comes to that. I don't know which one would win that fight. I like to think it would be the Lord of Malice, but if there's more Custodes, it might not. So very cool model. I think the styling is very well. I didn't recognize that these little knee horns came out as far as they did until we got it together here. Remember, there's a top half and a bottom half that kind of locks in, so that was cool to see. You know, great range of motion on the arms. I think the posing is incredible. I really like this model. Now, like I said, I don't have the pricing information. I don't even have a picture to show you of this assembled. There is some on their Facebook page, but I know better than to open my Facebook and try to record a video with that thing open. That's just you might see a billion pop-ups when it comes to messages and notifications and things, and nobody wants that. I won't put that evil on you, so we're not going to show you that. But suffice to say, creaturecaster.com. Get your orders in. February 21st, this bad boy goes on sale. Chances are this video is out after that, so if you're seeing this video, they're not doing a pre-order. They're just putting it up for sale. So it might be time to run over there and scoop yourself one up, because I have no idea how long they're going to be in stock for. And you know what we say here on Spiky Bits, we definitely don't want any field badsies. So I think it's great value. Whatever the price is, generally it'll probably be right around that $60 to $70 US mark if I had to guess. And I think there is some combo bundles they were talking about doing, as well as some free shipping options once you get hit certain levels. I forget exactly what they are, but again, you can hit up their site and find out more about that. Normally I would just show you their site themselves, but there's no point to show you because it's not listed for sale yet. So there you have it. I kind of previewed before you can buy it, but you'll probably actually be able to buy it right now. Take that for what it means of the new Creature Caster Lord of Malice. Now, if you like these types of features here on the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications so you can be the very first to like and comment on all these videos.
Deleted scenes, bonus content, and all the interviews and post-game wrap-up videos can be located in the Hall of Veterans on thelongwar.net. Visit thelongwar.net today and try a week completely free with no strings attached. That's not all. TheLongWar.net is also your hobby resource for exclusive early access with an ad-free experience to all your favorite videos. Members of the Hall of Veterans gain early exclusive access to multiple hobby videos,